What is up, everybody? So, YCS Sydney just happened this past weekend. Unfortunately, the deck I hate the most right now in the current meta, Altergeist won. Now, you guys may say, oh Chris, you're trash, why do you hate Altergeist? Not because it's an unfair deck, because I believe the deck is at its core is fair. It's just what the deck promotes, which is similar to Rango, unplayable Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, because once they set up their board with the guy that allows you to compulse every turn, it kind of sucks. So with that being said, in this video, I'm going to be discussing YCS Sydney 2017, the top 16. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of that and talking about why the decks did as well as they did. If you guys are new here, hit that like button for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, and also think about subscribing. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's begin.
Ice on my wrist, looking kinda cool. Bad bitch with me, she ain't tryna move. Niggas staring at me, what you tryna do? Got me looking at my watch, and it's time to do.
Okay, so the top 16 went as follows: 6 Thunder Dragon, 1 Invoke variant, 4 Altergeist, 2 Sky Striker, 1 Burning Abyss, 1 Pendulum Magician, 1 Praying Kids, 1 Rango Bongo. Let's talk about Rango first, because that's the deck a lot of people primarily hate right now. You know, Rango Bongo, lock your opponent out of their deck, blow up their board. I'm not surprised this deck obviously top 16 because it's been doing good in the current meta. It's fairly consistent. A lot of people are ragging on Zodiac Duelist that the reason why this deck didn't do as good or top as high as it should have is due to the simple fact of region and location. Maybe there's not a lot of good Rango players in their region, and they think the deck just ain't as powerful because everyone was prepared for it, which is true. But at the same time, even though people was prepared for the Rango deck, don't mean it's less powerful than it once was. I truly believe the Rango deck, like a lot of decks in this format, suffers from the go first syndrome. If they can win a lot of their dice rolls and they can go first, 9 times out of 10 it's over, because they're going to beat you game 1, you're going to beat them game 2, then they're going to snag game 3 because they're going to open up their combos, unless you open up the hand trap. So there's a lot of variables you guys got to play with. So, you know, it's a really variable luck-based deck, if that makes sense. Similar to like Exodia, Burn decks, etc. So that's why only one of those made it. I wouldn't be surprised in YCS Chicago, which is the next YCS scheduled to happen, that is, a lot more of those decks win, because they're probably going to have a higher played ratio based on region once again. And a lot of Rango players are going to adjust their side decks and main decks based off the results of YCS Sydney. 1 Praying Kids. It was bound to sneak in there. It won a YCS. It can OTK, FTK. I'm not a Prank Kid expert, so don't expect me to give an elaborate breakdown on why this deck did good, but it OTKs, not surprised. I expect to see more in the near future. Now that Burning Abyss, I think it was piloted by an OCG player. The dude sounded like his name was, he was an OCG player. Let me know, his name was Kojima or Hijima or something like that. One snuck in there. Now, there's a big discussion online on Zodiac Duels once again that Burning Abyss is the most consistent deck, and people are excited to see it top. I am too. No hating against Burning Abyss player. Definitely a skill-based deck. The deck has been neutered enough, and the deck just keeps constantly evolving, similar to the Masked Heroes, and especially how Heroes used to be back in the day when they used to constantly evolve. Burning Abyss right now is more of an OTK-based deck, which is how I got in. Everything floats, you know, you'll float too. So, you know, I'm not surprised that that did well. Also, there's a Pendulum Magician, so that is scary. Now, Pendulum is an archetype, you know, Master Rule 3, Pendulum Summoning. A lot of people can't stand it because it's due to the fact that, dude, spit my hands to the board, I lose my board, get it right back. Not surprised it's one snuck in as well. I mean, it's a feel like deck, similar to like how if you can U-link the opponent, or if you can just set up your board. It definitely suffers from go first syndrome as well. Go first and variable syndrome, where it's like you have to go first to do well. Nothing much more to say. Now, the 2 Sky Striker shocked me a little bit, not gonna lie, because in my opinion, it's the best deck in the format. Most tops, most consistent, even though it doesn't win. It's usually highly represented because it's a really good deck to have. And now with it having an unfair card like multi-roll, that can literally steal games for the deck and win games based on the fact that they can manage their resources better and more efficiently. I'm surprised that it didn't do as well, but I think that's mainly due to the other deck that did well right now, which is Thunder Dragons and Altergeist. Now, the 6th Thunder Dragon that made it. A lot of people predict going into Nationals, Thunder Dragons is going to be the best deck in the format based on how they were in the OCG. You know, Thunder Dragon and Dino Thunder Dragon variants are always going to be good. You can literally make a big field of beaters first turn that locks up the opponent searching, can pop their board, and they have protection. So literally, if you don't draw, you're evenly matched, which is a fairly high price card right now. It's like 30 bucks. Not that high price, it depends on your budget, but if you literally don't open that or Book of Moon, no, sorry, Book of Eclipse, you're bound to lose. So with Thunder Dragon being as highly represented as it is, there's no surprise that Sky Strikers are starting to see less tops because Thunder Dragons can literally out the deck. Same thing with the Altergeist, because Altergeist, their main deck in things like Imperial Order, their main deck in the Solemn Brigade, now based off of the guy who won. They're also main deck in Rivalry of the Warlords. They're doing a lot of different things to hurt Sky Strikers, so I think we're going to naturally see more of a trend of Sky Strikers taking a dip. Heck, even in my regionals, they did well, but they started to trickle down because everyone's prepared for the Sky Striker. You think about a Yu-Gi-Oh event right now, whether it be a regionals, locals, whatever. What do I have to have on my side deck for Sky Strikers? Now, the ugly elephant in the room, Altergeist, won the event. A lot of people trolling online saying the reason why it won mainly because of Rivalry of the Warlords. What does that card do, you may ask? It's a floodgate similar to Goes and Match, but you can only control one type of monster on the board. And if you, let's say for example, if your opponent has a big field of beaters, you activate Rivalry, they have to send monsters from their field to the graveyard, so they can only control one. Which sucks when it resolves because it can just wipe an opponent's board. But in a deck like Altergeist that has a monster that says, hey, I can compose you every turn and reset myself, and if I die, I get another trap card back, which is the Altergeist trap card, which allows you to bring me back, like Call of the Hunted. Yeah, it's pretty scary because you can only control one monster type. So you're playing a deck like Heroes. I can use my extra deck outside of Warrior like monster. I don't think I even get to attempt to use my extra deck because the way how the rules are with that card. And then they keep bouncing my one monster back and screwing me over with that one card. But yeah, their main deck can that Rivalry at 3, or some variants used, and then there's one. I think ultimately Rivalry is the better pick. They're using that. They're using the Imperial Order, and they're also using Solemn Strike Brigade, and they're using the the Spellcaster lockout engine. When you play the field spell, it allows your opponent not to play spell cards. So with all that wrapped together, that deck is lit, bro, and it's really freaking scary. So I'm not surprised that they had the spice to take out the Sky Strikers. They had the consistency to take out, you know, Thunder Dragons, and of course they had the luck sack unfair cards like Rivalry to just flood it out the opponent and win the duel. Now, one question begs to be asked at the end of this video: should Altergeist take a hit on the next Yu-Gi-Oh ban list? I want you guys to post your thoughts about that in the comment section down below. Heck, answer this poll right here. Do you guys think they should be a hit? My answer is simply yes. In my opinion, while I believe the deck is fair, no fair deck stay fair for too long that's as consistent as they are. How many times do they have a top an event to prove how good they are to the world? Multi-Faker breaks the deck. I mean, you activate your trap card, bring it to the board, get to tutor any monster from your deck to the field. Like the one guy that allows you to compose back. You can compose back your Multi-Faker, redo your combos. Then once you have your back row set up properly with some proper traps like Imperial Order or that stupid Spellcaster field spell that allows your opponent not to use their cards, it's a force to be reckoned with. So I think, you know, not a banning on the deck, but a slap on the wrist like multi-favor to one would tame the deck down in power and make it more fair. A lot of you guys may disagree because Altergeist at first was seen to be one of those decks that was not supposed to be a meta deck. It was more of a roguish deck, and it earned this meta title. And this happens a lot. Like, for example, if I would have did good with masked heroes, let's say at my regionals, and then let's say YCS Sydney come and more people start doing it with masked heroes. Same thing goes with YCS Chicago, and you see masked heroes topping out of nowhere because of things like Gumblar, Lubes, Neo Space Connector, etc. I would sit here and say masked heroes need to get hit. Maybe Dark Law need to go down to 1 because the deck is powerful. So, you know, real talk, people who think just because the deck used to be rogue and it got good, it doesn't deserve to be hit because it just got good, they're flawed and they're wrong. Decks like that are bound to happen. Like, I guarantee if heroes get a new hero monster that breaks the deck, a lot of hero players are going to say, no, it deserves to have its time in the sun, which it does, but that does not necessarily mean the deck should not get hit. If that makes sense for you guys. So, like I said, man, YCS Sydney, pretty cool. Came with YCS Chicago. Got a lot of events and stuff planned for YCS Chicago. You guys already know I will be attending that event, and I will be vlogging my prep starting tomorrow. So you guys will probably get that video on Tuesday for my prep for YCS Chicago. And I'm going to also do more YCS Chicago videos leading up to YCS Chicago because it's the biggest event for me locally. So I want to make sure I get prepared and try to get my invite by topping YCS Chicago. So post your thoughts and opinions about this video in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't. This is InnovationYGO, and I'm signing out. Peace and stay innovative, guys. Deuces.